Hello, I'm Geraldine McCaughrean, and this is a book I wrote quite recently, Where the World Ends. And it's set on a sea stack, which is on this actual historical sea stack. That's what a sea stack looks like. It's just a lump of rock sticking up out of the sea. And it's based on a historical thing that genuinely happened, but the historical records are so brief, it's just a sentence and a half, that it enabled me to turn it into fiction. So I just had to guess, to work out, to invent what actually happened to the boys marooned on this piece of rock. Now, someone has sighted, well, they think they've sighted, a ship out at sea. So Quilliam and little Davy have climbed up as high as they can to a cave at the top of the rock to try and signal the ship out at sea. The straw mattress was scorching, blackening, without a glimmer of fire. It needed air. Quill crawled outside on all fours, dragging the mattress behind him. He let go of it in the cave entrance, where it couldn't help but catch the full force of the wind, and he stumbled away from the choking smoke. Quill and Davy, hugging each other to keep their balance, were shoved and shouldered by the wind into a clumsy, shuffling dance. The heat from the fire set the air spinning so that hundreds of wispy fragments of straw began to swirl round and round and round. Here and there clumps broke off free, firebirds soaring into the night. Night? It wasn't night. It wasn't much past midday, and yet the sky was dark as late evening. The stack was roofed over with solid slate-coloured cloud. "We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it!" said Davy, dizzied and entranced by the swirling vortex of straw. They had made a lighthouse of Warrior Stack, casting a beam of light to 1/4 of the compass and far out to sea. Moments. It must have been moments before the puny remains of the baskets, the straw mattress, were all burned and the fire was out. Battered harder and harder by the wind, Quill realised that they wouldn't be able to climb down again until the wind dropped. Climb down? They couldn't so much as get back to the cave. The blast was so powerful. "Storm coming," said Davy above the noise of the blast. "You could say," shouted Quill. Their heads weren't a handspan apart, and yet they needed to shout. They had to take off their caps sooner than lose them to the wind. It was then that Quill noticed how Davy's hair was bushed out, every strand separate. Putting a hand to his own, he felt the crackle. The air was so charged with electricity that their hair was lousy with it. This is a story that took place a very long time ago, and but is strangely close to now, when everybody is totally isolated. And I set it on an island because stories on islands they necessitate everybody being out of contact with help. They have to cope. And all of a sudden I find myself reading this to you during the pandemic and everyone's in lockdown. So it's not quite as bad as if you bear in mind that these boys had no idea whether anyone was ever going to come and pick them up, and that they might be there till their dying day. Thank you for listening. I'm Geraldine McCaughrean. Bye-bye.